Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to the next instalment with the Vertuo lattissima from Nespresso. Now, in the previous video I mentioned we were going to have a look at a few things. So first up we got a welcome pack with the machine, and gave us a selection of coffee pods, being out and look at that. So there's 2, 4, 6. So there's a dozen pods that they give you with the machine, and I think some of them could be different throughout each box that you get. But there's a range of espresso, which is a short shot for 40s, and you've got double espressos for 80s, and original lines, specialty coffees there, a decaf, espresso as well. So there's a range of pods there, going from, I think the bottom ones down there are probably carafe size, and maybe even a cup size. So that gives a detailed look at what's in the box. So we will probably take the double espresso for milk, which I think is this one, and we will probably make a latte macchiato with the system for our first drink. So we will go and get a few things organised, and we'll be back in a tick. Right, so we're back. We've got a couple of things organised. We've got our choice pod, which is the Bianco Dopo, which is designed for a milk-based drink. We've also got a nice tall, that's known as a Altiso mug, which is pretty well full size. So what will happen with these is the barcode on the pod governs the size of the drink. So that will be a 80 ml shot, and then the system will determine how much milk to add to it via the code on the pod. So let's get going. We'll turn the machine on. I'll give that a few seconds to warm up. Now by rights it should recognise the fact that the milk carafe is on there as well, and it should light up the two symbols on the right hand side. Yep. Okay, so that's the machine ready. We've got a steady light on the top there for the power button, and the 3 milk options have opened up and lighted up. And at the bottom we have the cappuccino, and then at the middle one we have the latte macchiato, and then at the top we have the froth, foam only selection. So for this drink we're going to use the latte macchiato. So first things first, let's open up the machine head, pop our pod in and close it, and then walk him across. So now that should be all we need to do. So we will put our cup under. We're going to need to take the little cup holder out because we're using a full-size cup, and we can simply do that. So we just pop that across to the centre. Now we've got our dial on our carafe of milk set to froth. So now all we need to do with this is to hit the latte macchiato button, and it should start to. The milk should start to flow first, then the coffee will follow. So let's see whether we've got a fairly good look at this. I might just move him a bit closer. Hopefully we can get a bit of a better look at it. Should be all right, I think. Yep. Okay, so here we go. is starting up to read the code. So it's taken a few seconds to read the code and get itself organised. So now this should give us a nice latte macchiato, rich froth and foam. This could take a few minutes, but I'm using full cream milk. But they do suggest that you use semi-skim milk for the best foam results. So for test purposes, I'm using full cream. It seems to be going quite well. As I say, at this point in time, I've had no issues with the machine, contrary to quite a bit of consumer effort. So we had a tank full of water. And incidentally, while this is brewing, the power light is flashing, as well as the latte macchiato light is flashing as well. So, okay, that's the milk stopped. And now we're going into the coffee preparation. And there we go. I've started pouring the coffee. It looks like it's given probably three quarters of the cup size. So there we go, that's just starting to drift through now. I don't know, you can possibly start to see the colour change. Now the double espresso pod that I used was or is an 80ml coffee shot, so which is double espresso. So now that's just finishing up. And when this is finished, by and large, then it should turn itself into the cleaning mode. Yep, so the clean mode's come up. All right. So that's that finished, and so that's worked out quite well. It's given us a nice faded colour with a nice thick foam at the top for a latte macchiato. Now, if you were to do a normal latte with this, you would pick whichever size pod you want, whether it be espresso or double espresso, and would then, we may do that after this, and pour or brew your black coffee first for your shot, and then you would use the foam button, and to start it, then it would start the milk after your coffee, and then you would literally have to manually stop it to suit your cup size. But as I mentioned, this system is now governed by the barcodes on the pods, as well as the milk selection on the frothing side of it. So if you were to do a cappuccino with a 40ml espresso shot, then it would, as long as you had the right cup size, it would then make the selection for you. Now, incidentally, you can use whichever cup size you want, whether you have mugs, or there is a selection of cappuccino cups that you can actually buy, which are suited for the brew size of what you're going to do. In the manual itself, and probably through the digital menu as well, it gives you the parameters of each pod, so you know what cup size you're going to need. So now it's a case of cleaning the machine, so we will move our coffee, and we will put a vessel that will hold enough of it, and we'll pop our cup support. Pop our cup support back in there to suit our cup, so that, there you go, that's gone under. Now to simply rinse this, it's just a matter of, you take the dial on the top of the carafe and turn it to the right to rinse. And that's automatically going into its rinse cycle. Now if you were to make another coffee after your first one, then you wouldn't need to do this until you're finished for today. So just putting some steam through as well to clean the system. Now if you weren't going to make another coffee, you would then take that out and put it in the fridge, which is good for another 24 hours, but I wouldn't leave it for anything longer than that, because the milk might spoil. So after you've done your rinse cycle, you simply return the dial back to the phone, and then all three of your lights come back on again. Then you can make your next choice for your drink. So that's the first coffee that we've made with the machine. So we will have a bit of a drink of this one, and then we might make another one very shortly. So we'll be back in a tick. Okay, so after we've made our drink, we've put the rinse through the milk carafe. Now the next thing we need to do is to eject the pod. So the simple way of doing that is to just unlock the head, let it come up, and it will eject the pod back down and lock it up. So all relatively simple. And the good thing about this is it reads everything, and you can just put your pod in and then select your drink, and it actually makes what you want. So having done that, we will endeavour to finish off our coffee, and then we will do perhaps a cappuccino and see what difference that will make, and we'll use a slightly smaller pod. So we'll come back shortly. Right, back again. This time we're going to try the cappuccino selection. So we've topped up our milk a little bit. We have our coffee pod selected, which is the Lattissima, part of the Vertuo range, and it's a 40ml shot. I think you can hopefully see that on the pod. Oh yeah, well it's displayed there, but not too good. So okay, turn our machine on. It takes a few seconds for it to heat up, although probably a little bit quicker seeing as it's already been on. Okay, so we're all good to go. And again, the three selection buttons on the right hand side of the machine have lit up. So right, the next step is, as usual, well not as usual, right, we'll put our coffee pod in, close it. Okay, so we had a bit of a stoppage there. So we've got our pod in. As I said, we used the Lattissima. Now we have our milk carafe done. This time we select the cappuccino button. So it starts up, reads the barcode with the first couple of seconds. So this time it's started doing coffee first. And this should give us just a 40ml shot, which is has done, and it should deliver the right amount of milk. Now, using the 40ml pod just means it's a single espresso shot, so it should already make the calculation as to how much milk to put in. So like I say, here we go, just starting to do it now. And I've used the 285ml cappuccino cup. There's a slightly smaller one there available in the Luna range, or a slightly bigger one available. Well, there we go. So that's done a very short one to suit that 40ml shot. So I think if I'd have done a double espresso pod, we would probably have got a slightly higher cupful. But again, it's selected itself as to what it wanted to do. So give this a little. It's got a nice little dollop on the top. And I'll give that a little stir. A nice thick foam on the top. Ugh, no sugar. Yeah. Right. So as usual, we go and we have to do the clean. So again, we just pop a glass under it. Just something that'll hold the amount of fluid. Turn it to the rinse. And again, just put some water through to flush out the head system. And then it'll put some steam through it afterwards. Okay, so that's it. Once the clean cycle's done, then the light goes out, which gives you the indication she's all done, and you put it back onto the foam selection, and you're ready for your next cup. So on that note, I think we'll wrap this one up simply by saying it's quite a good system I've got, based on the Vertuo Next machines that they have released. So it only has the two main selections, being the cappuccino or the latte macchiato. Now they will be variable as to depending on what size pod you put in. As again, that's what I said. It's governed by the pod you put in. So whether you go the espresso 40ml, a double espresso 80ml, or you go the mug size, which I think is about 230, or I suppose you could probably even go the lungo, which is the grand lungo, which is 150ml. So you're not sort of limited as to what size drink that you want, but it does say in the manual, it just gives you a guide as to portion sizes in relation to drink sizes. And as I said previously, if you wanted to do a latte, for example, then as opposed to a latte macchiato, then you would simply use whatever size pod you want. I would generally use a 40ml, and then you would use the foam button, the hot foam button at the back, which is at the top of the range, and then you could make the drink to your own taste or your own texture. So on that note, the machine's to shut itself down. So I think on that note we will we'll wrap this one up, and I hope this has given some people an insight into this machine. And yes, if you have liked the video, or you do like the video, please hit the like button and the notification bell for future uploads, and please do hit the subscribe button. We're always looking for new people, and we always try and help as many people as we can. And thank you to my subscribers that have joined us. And again, please subscribe if you do wish to, and thank you for watching.